So going through Arkansas at a town called Ravenden, there's this statue. The Raven was first built by donations in 1991. The Raven was first bird sent from Noah's Ark in search of land. Ravenden, Arkansas, established 1883, first known as Ravenden Junction. And that's one really large raven. The raven has a reputation for divine magical powers. Nevermore, quoth the raven. And this sort of thing is why we road trip. Just one of the many funky type of things that you see when you drive instead of fly. Then the word of the Lord came to Elijah, leave here, turn eastward and hide in the Cherith ravine, east of Jordan. You will drink from the brook, and I have directed the ravens to supply you with food there. So he did what the Lord had told him. He went to the Cherith ravine, east of the Jordan, and stayed there. The ravens brought him bread and meat in the morning, and bread and meat in the evening, and he drank from the brook. 1 Kings 17, 2-6. Somewhere a little farther down the road, this is cool.
This is epic.
This is Mammoth Spring. Long ago, a group of Indians camped in this area along the Warm Fork River. When a long and terrible drought occurred, the river nearly ran dry. The chief sent his son and other warriors to seek more water. During the search, the chief's son died. While burying him, a large stream of water shot from the gravesite. The chief vowed the new spring would flow forever, since his son had died searching for water and it had been found while burying him. So the legend goes. The spring is located to your left. It may be viewed by following the footpath that encircles the lake.
What?
Huh. Mammoth Spring flows at an average rate of 9.78 million gallons of water per hour. This equals 235 million gallons per day. The water temperature is a constant 58 degrees Fahrenheit. The water from the spring is high in nitrogen. Most fish are not able to survive. However, grass pike and sculpin are abundant in the lake. Look at that, that's a
Train depot.
train depot. That's not even part of this, I don't think. That's neat. Look at this water, y'all. It's clear.
Alright, looks like we're hoping to enter on this lake, right?
Yeah. You never know what kind of history you're standing on, because
You're standing on a bridge support.
oh.
See, that's where the train station is, and the bridge used to go across.
Oh. Wow. Alright, so let me back up and look at this for a second. You're standing on the support for a bridge across Spring Lake. The bridge provided an important link between the train station and the city of Mammoth Spring. The first bridge, made of wood, was replaced by a steel bridge. The steel bridge was privately owned and was sold as scrap metal in the 1960s. People did bad things back in the day. That's neat. Wow. We're gonna do the walking path and see if it goes by the depot. There's geese and ducks. Hey guys. It's so nice. It's kind of a turquoise colored water, lots of greenery growing in it. Not a lot of fish. The water looks ridiculously inviting. This is one of those things we really just stumbled across. Stacey saw it on maps or something just before we got here. Then Stacey spotted another kind of history that harkens back to one of our older videos.
They had an old soldiers reunion here.
Oh!
In 1890, the first reunion of the Blue and Gray was held at Mammoth Spring, attracting Civil War veterans on both sides from northern Arkansas and southern Missouri. It quickly became a popular August event, with most participants arriving by team and wagon, and in later years by automobile. Eventually, the reunion of the Blue and Gray became today's Old Soldiers Reunion.
Interesting. On the subject of old soldiers, if you scroll back through the videos, you'll see the Old Soldiers Home, which was basically a retirement home for Confederate soldiers, not funded by the government but elsewhere. So this is these people, kind of some of the people who would have been in there. During reunion week, the town was filled with activity. Veterans and their families traded goods, participated in racing, shooting, and other contests, and shared stories about the war. Wooden carnival rides were built for the children, and afternoon baseball games and evening concerts were also popular. The mule-drawn merry-go-round enjoyed at the reunion was similar to the one shown in the photo above, near Mountain View, Arkansas in 1910. Later it was replaced by the first mechanical ride at the reunion, a steam-powered merry-go-round. Interesting. This is kind of laser etched, so it might not show up really good on the thing. Civil War veteran Captain A.L. Cooper, shown with his wife, is credited with the initial planning and promotion of the reunion of the Blue and Gray.
This is really a blurry area where people really brother against brother.
Yeah.
Probably.
And it's so something that's so often not really explored or talked about is how so much peace was made between the people that were actually doing the shooting at each other. On down the path. Let's see what else we can find. So we're coming up on where the spring actually is that feeds all of this. You can see the water rushing here, and then the vegetation starts up down there. And this is right off the road, like right off the road.
Union troops of the 6th Missouri and 3rd Iowa Cavalry Regiments entered Arkansas on March 10, 1862 to keep Confederate troops led by W.O. Coleman, J. Posey Woodside, and Archibald McFarland from banding together. After a skirmish on March 12th, the two forces collided at a swamp northeast of Salem on the 13th. A 4-hour battle began, in which the two sides repeatedly charged back and forth on the edge of the swamp before the Union troops fell back to Missouri after suffering 23 casualties and claiming 100 Confederates dead, wounded, and missing.
Wow.
You get this side too.
Oh, so different.
Fulton County men fought on both sides in the Civil War, and some were arrested in 1861 as members of the Unionist Peace Society. U.S. troops marched through in April 1862 during the Pea Ridge Campaign. Fulton County Confederates struck a Union town in Missouri in 1863, and U.S. troops raided the county at least 3 times that year, including an August expedition in which the Spring River Mill at modern-day Mammoth Spring was burned as a guerrilla rendezvous. On May 29, 1864, a wagon train of Unionist refugees was hit at Salem and 80 were killed.
Y'all, there are a lot of trucks on this road. Over this way is where they said the spring head was. The water looks really refreshing. You have to have an action camera when you're shooting with Stacey. She's seen something. Ooh, this is cool.
Look at this part especially.
Although the spring appears clear and pure, it is not. As the water flows through the ground, it picks up harmful chemicals and other waste materials. We recommend you do not drink the spring water. Looks are deceiving.
It's funny because Brian was just saying like how pure the water is. It's really clear.
It is beautiful. Yeah, look at this. It's turquoise.
It is turquoise.
And it's clear. I'm gonna stick the camera through the grate here. You can just see right through the water.
To move all day. The walking path is not as manicured once you get past the spring.
Yeah, a little wilder on this side.
But I thought when I took out this depot.
So it appears that this does actually go to the depot, which is cool.
You can see the other side of the bridge.
Yeah. So pretty out here. This video, or series of videos, really embodies what down the road is all about. We drove half of yesterday and have been driving all day today. We're heading to Wichita, Kansas, and we're picking up some little adventures along the way, which hopefully are going to turn out good. But this depot, which I showed you earlier in the video, we're going to get a close-up look. And straight ahead, the depot. That is a neat depot, and they have a caboose back there. The 19th century railroad has a romance like nothing else. The shades are pulled. Oh, entrance on trackside. Some of the prettiest buildings I've ever seen have been train depots. But well, as this is a stop along the road on a long drive, we will not be able to hang around to look at this. Sorry folks, no tour today. But it is neat. And then there's this. Mammoth Spring, Arkansas, the inspiration for the Grand Ole Opry. In 1919, George D. Hay, a young newspaper reporter for the Memphis Commercial Appeal, visited Mammoth Spring while on assignment. Before boarding the train back to the city, Hay was invited on a traditional Ozark musical and marveled at the enthusiasm of the musicians and dancers. He wrote, "I sauntered around the town, at the edge of which, hard by the Missouri line, there lived a truck farmer in an old railroad car. We chatted for a few minutes, and the man went on to his place of abode and brought forth a fiddle and a bow. He invited me to attend a hoedown that neighbors were going to put on that night until the crack of dawn in a log cabin about a mile up the muddy road. He and two other old-time musicians furnished the earthy rhythm." We'll edit out the part where I screwed it all up. A few years later, Hay assumed his role as a solemn old judge and inaugurated the Nashville radio show that became known as the Grand Ole Opry. In his 1945 book about the Opry and its history, Hay credited the visit to Mammoth Spring as his inspiration for the world-famous show, stating, "No one in the world has ever had more fun than those Ozark mountaineers did that night. It stuck with me until the idea became Grand Ole Opry 7 or 8 years later." That's fascinating.
I'm glad I told you then.
It is amazing things that people know so well in media in the 20th century, what their actual inspiration was. I mean, that's really fascinating to me. And Stacey too.
Just trying to get some calories.
Yeah, Stacey's getting some steps in because we have basically just been sitting for like 5 hours so far. I can't think of a better place to go out and stretch our legs. It's really pretty.
Yeah, and if we want to make it to the Route 66 thing,
Yeah.
where it closes.
As Brent Lindley said, we got many more miles to drive. We have a lot of stuff to see, and we will close this up so we can get on down the road. Coming up. Is it on top of the car parking garage?
This was on the first floor.
Stay tuned.